Hi, I'm Sumit, and in today's video, you will understand the concept of consumer surplus and producer surplus. Before starting with our today's class, I'm assuming that you already know the concept of market demand and market supply. But in case you are not well versed with the concept of market demand and market supply, it's a suggestion that you should first understand the concept of market demand and market supply so that it becomes easy for you to understand the concept of consumer and producer surplus. In the first part of the video, you will understand the concept of consumer surplus and then we'll move on to producer surplus. Let us now understand the concept of consumer and producer surplus with the help of diagram. Here is the demand and supply curve, market demand and market supply curve for apples in a perfectly competitive market, and the equilibrium price is PE, equilibrium quantity is QE. Consumer surplus refers to the additional benefit enjoyed by consumers who pay less than they are willing and able to pay for a good. The demand curve represents the marginal benefit of the consumers, and the demand for apple, as we can see here, represents the marginal benefit of all consumers who might wish to buy apple at different prices in a particular period of time. Those who have high willingness and ability to pay, or we can say high marginal benefit, will be presented up here on the demand curve. When the price is actually PE, then anybody who is willing to pay more than PE experiences some degree of consumer surplus. And assuming the demand curve represents thousands or even millions of consumers, there are points all along the demand curve representing individual consumers who are willing to pay more than this equilibrium price of PE. So this whole shaded portion here represents a consumer surplus enjoyed by all those consumers who wish to pay, who are willing to pay more than the equilibrium price. Graphically, we can say that the area below the demand curve, as we can see here, and above the equilibrium price represents consumer surplus. The area which is below the demand curve and above the equilibrium price PE represents consumer surplus. Next, we'll move on to producer surplus, the concept of producer surplus. Producer surplus refers to additional benefit enjoyed by producers who were able to sell for a price higher than they would have been willing to sell for. Again, assuming that the market for apples is made up of thousands of farmers having varying degree of cost. So those farmers who are more efficient and have we can say low cost of production, they will be shown here on the supply curve, in the lower left hand corner of the supply curve. Those who have a low cost of production as compared to other farmers due to different reasons. Now the most productive and low cost apple farmers are earning lot of producer surplus when they sell apple at a price of PE. So those who are more efficient, more productive, have less cost of production, they will be earning more producer surplus as compared to those farmers who have a high cost of production. So this whole shaded portion represents the producer surplus. Graphically, we can say that the area this whole shaded portion, as we can see here. So graphically, the producer surplus is represented by the area above the supply curve but below the equilibrium price. So this is the additional benefit enjoyed by the producer, who is able to sell for a price higher than he would have been willing to sell for.